Discord. Okay. Awesome. All right. Well, so thank you guys for coming and joining me on my birthday. It makes my heart so happy because, honestly, I started in on my birthday, my 40th birthday was during COVID, right? Like everything had just started. And so I spent my 40th birthday on Zoom with people that I didn't know, across the country, basically, that I had met. And it kind of made me realize that I like just being surrounded by people who, have common interests and, that I can talk to and enjoy and, all of that. And it doesn't have to be just the people that I don't know, are supposed to be there, right? And so anyway, so when I was thinking about what to do for my birthday, I was like, you know what? I really had a lot of fun, even though it was COVID and even though it was my 40th birthday, right? Like I want to do that again. So that's why I decided that I wanted to spend time with all of the people who are in my group and whoever wanted to come join me. So
I think that's awesome.
well, thank you. Thank you. So, feel free, like I would love, I see, new faces to me. So I would love to have you guys just say who you are and where you're from if you don't mind. And just so I can get to know you too. Thank
Okay,
you.
well, I'm
Oh,
oh,
sorry. Go
go
ahead.
ahead.
Oh, she said happy birthday in the comments.
Oh,
So I
okay.
just
Oh, okay. I'm Tammy Kasulis and I live in Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Okay, awesome. All right. Go ahead.
All right. So, Corey, happy birthday. I
You
love birthdays. So, it's one of those things where it's just like, hey, it's a birthday celebration. All right, I'm down. I'm coming.
I love it. I love it. Thank you.
It is early for me. I'm on the West Coast. So, this is
Oh,
me waking up.
I'm in Washington too. I'm in central Washington. So I did this thinking, okay, well, probably the majority of the people in the group are not on the West Coast, And so sorry for those of us who, got up early and if you're normally an early riser, it's great, right? But otherwise it might be like, yeah, no, that's too early.
Exactly. So, I'm Carol Stanley and I am in Southwest Washington. And I've been a real estate agent for
Oh,
a couple of years. And then I was an escrow officer before that. So, I was an escrow officer for over 16 years at First American.
okay. Okay, awesome.
okay.
Nice
I
to meet
lost you.
you. All
I
right.
found. Oh, okay.
Oh, go ahead. What were you
No,
going to say, Tammy?
no, I lost you for a second, but I got back there. Okay.
Okay, okay, good. Oh, goodness. Well, I'm Amy, did you want to talk?
Yes.
Okay, okay.
And I'm not a morning person, so I'm still kind of getting around. And Monday is kind of like my regroup and do personal stuff that didn't get done on Sunday, like laundry and stuff like that. So um Amy Bennett, I go by it's me, Amy B, and that's part of my email. It's my tagline that I use. And I'm in Cheyenne, Wyoming, which is north of Denver, north of Fort Collins, an hour, couple hours. Some people don't know where Wyoming is.
Amy,
Yeah.
I am from Cody, Wyoming.
Are you? Oh,
Yes.
wow. I had a cousin who lived in Powell
Oh, that's where my sister lives.
when I was little.
Yep.
And yeah, so
I
she
know where
lives.
Wyoming's at.
Okay, woohoo! Brownie point for you today.
Oh, that's great.
But yeah, I sat in on Corey. I sat in on your Zoom or your webinar meeting a couple weeks back where you were. I can't remember the topic. Like I said, I'm still kind of waking up, but
That's okay. Talking
I
about
just
sellers
you
and stuff.
um yeah, I think that's what
Okay.
That's the
Sorry.
one. And I just, you made an impact and with me because it really hit home with me. When I started into real estate, I was when I started full time, I was kind of, shoved into it, if you will, because I was going to do it part time while I worked a full time job. And then this fellow that I was with, um, um, changed and it became a dangerous situation. And so I left my full-time job, jumped into real estate full-time and trying to um, hide in plain sight so he wouldn't know what I was doing. So that was interesting, trying to be a real estate agent in, a fairly small town because Cheyenne's only like I think 75,000, but it's a small town and trying to hide in plain sight, just can't do it. So I was off to a rocky start just because of that and my insecurities tied to that and just a lot of different things. But some of the things that you mentioned about having a stalker, that really kind of hit home. And so I just really resonated with a lot of stuff that you had to say, and I appreciate you for sharing. It's nice to know that other people have struggles too and you can get through it.
I just want to say to you, first of all, thank you for sharing, and please know that this is always a safe space. And sorry, the puppy is in here and apparently happy.
Oh, yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
But I want you to know that no matter what, you always have support. I will always be here and I'm always willing to talk to someone, and help them and just be that support person because I didn't always have support. And that's exactly why I'm here because, I guess for me in my world, it feels like when there is I guess when there's something that goes wrong, I try to like fix it and sort of like a pendulum, right? Like if something bad happens, I go far the other way and try and fix it. And, it took me so much time to get to be okay.
Yep, same here because it's been about 4 years.
Yeah.
And I'm believe it or not, from the sound of my voice, I'm actually doing really darn good compared to where I was, 4 years ago.
I'm very proud of you.
So I can finally say I'm proud of me too.
That's good. That's good. And you know what? Honestly, the fact that you're still in real estate, you're still going, you're still doing your thing, like the fact that you're here and showing up, I feel like it's everything because there's so many people in myself included, right? Like we shut down and we kind of hide and it's perfectly okay, but it's the coming back that's the hard part. So once you get to the point where you can do that, it's scary, but it kind of relieves some of that stress.
It does. And I've actually I've been on the move, so to speak, for like the last 3 years. I moved out of my home. I sold it that I'd been in for 13 years. So, I've had a process of downsizing and I'm still kind of working on that, but I'm at a much better place that way. But I moved, I think, well, one was a temporary move, but it was still a move. And well, all of them were. But yeah, I think I moved like 4 times in the last 3 years. And I don't like to move. I don't mind change. I like change, it's good, but I don't like to move and to move that many times, including my office. And I switched brokerages and it's just like, oh
had
my
a
God,
lot.
I don't know where anything is anymore.
Right, right. Well,
But
I'm
yeah,
so
and
grateful that
today
you
is not
shared.
about me. Today is not about me, but
I
I want you to know that you really, you struck a chord in a good way
I
on that
appreciate
last
it so
meeting.
much. I appreciate that so much. And I'm thankful that I could do that and hopefully help in any way because, that's I mean, that's everything to me. I want to help other people. And honestly, there's this piece of me that still feels scared. There's this piece of me that still
Yep.
hides, and
Yep.
like coming on and doing these kinds of events and being with other people, it kind of gives me power. It shows me that honestly I'm not alone, that I have a tribe of people who, you know, that show me that I'm okay. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so I love like getting together and being able to hang out with other people and just to see that I'm normal, like I've had a past, I've gone through things, but I'm normal and, I'm doing good now. And so, I invite you to always come and hang out with us and, be in the room and feel safe.
Yeah. And a few weeks ago, I checked my messenger because I had a message request. And, you get these doctors and these, Air Force generals that always want to be friends. And, and that was really, that actually, was a process to get through the fact that, okay, it's not him, or maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Anyway, he
Right.
reached out to me through Messenger and just said hi.
Oh goodness.
And I hadn't seen or heard from him in almost 3 years. And here he is messaging me. And instead of getting scared, I got mad. I got pissed. I was like, dare you?
Right, right.
So
And
I just deleted it and then blocked him again. And it just went about my day.
I love
And it was just, yeah, my first thought was, oh, I wish he was here and I'd kick his ass.
Well, you never can tell one of these days, right? But no, I'm just
Yeah,
kidding. You
I'm
don't
gonna
want
have to
that.
brush off my steel-toed boots for that.
Right.
Literally, yeah, yeah.
Oh goodness.
So
Well,
thank you, Corey. Thank you so
absolutely
much, and happy birthday. I'm glad I'm here today, and I'm glad you're here today.
thank you so much. Me too. Me too. I am I just want to say, when I share my story, like I share it from a place of I want other people to see that it's not always easy and that this is a roller coaster and it can be a roller coaster for so many different reasons. And I sometimes, like when I first shared what had happened to me and kind of the struggles that I had establishing a real estate career and quite frankly staying in real estate over the years, it it scared me to share it because I was like, okay, well, people are, I don't know, you think about what people are gonna say or whatever.
People
And
judge.
exactly. And so, I was kind of like, okay, might not be okay. But then I was like, you know what? No, my people will know that, like I'm sharing this for a reason and to help people and all of that. And so, for me, it's just kind of like it's a way of releasing, I think, in some ways, and just feeling better because I can share and I'm not hiding what my truth is, and I'm kind of feeling like I take back my power every time I stand there and say, no, like this is who I am now and this is what I'm doing. And I'm not scared. Okay, I might be scared, but I'm not scared like I was.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good way to put it. A form of release. I like that.
Exactly. So, well, I want to I really want to just invite you to always, keep my name and messenger, and you can message me anytime and I'll always be here for you.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're very, very welcome.
You're a wonderful woman.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I, you know, I guess in kind of talking about this, it kind of brings me back to, what some of you guys may have seen and probably attracted you to me to begin with, which is reverse prospecting, right? And kind of, talking about my past is exactly why I couldn't do cold calling and door knocking. It was just something I couldn't do because I was so full of fear. Like I had so much going on because of this stalker, because of all these things. Like I could not bring myself to do anything that like the rejection would basically, I was afraid it would just like crumple me into like a little ball and I would never unravel. And, I think that starting doing the reverse prospecting, starting giving value and people reaching out to me, that was something that it almost felt like magic, right, in my world. And like I don't like my mom always said, if it's too good to be true, whatever, it probably is, and these kinds of things. And so, in my head, like the first time something works, you're like, okay, that might have been a fluke. And then, as it continues to work, you're like, oh, okay, maybe this isn't that, And so when I was first getting started with reverse prospecting, I was using like the Thrifty Nickel or, the free little newspapers that used to go out, that were just ads. And I would put stuff out in those and then people would call me. And I was like, ooh, this is really cool because I don't have to reach out to a bunch of people to try and get leads, right? Like they're coming to me. And so it really kind of developed. It took a while for me to kind of get to the point where I figured out how to use social media the same way. I mean, that took a while. So, and I had a couple of downfalls like in that time. So, there were some struggles, but as I started to realize that I could use social media to attract people to me and a much like larger group of people, because there's all kinds of people in the Facebook groups and all of that, it really, really opened things up and it really showed me that, I guess basically that this was something that would work and it would work for so many people, all they had to do was know how to use it. And that's kind of when, I started to see that my story and like less than my story, but more so the fear behind it, in cold calling and door knocking and like chasing people and being salesy and all the things. Like when I realized that I wasn't alone in that and that other people were struggling with those kinds of things too, that's when it sort of really gave me power and was like, okay, you know what, you can help other people. And I had this coach in 2017 and she was like, Corey, I had gone to her just specifically to help me grow my real estate business. And she was like, Corey, you should be helping other real estate agents. And I was like, wait, hold on. Like, I didn't even know that was a thing, right? Like I just, it didn't occur to me at all. And so I started doing some different classes and stuff and helping agents with like foreclosures and like kind of getting into, in front of asset managers and that sort of thing. But then I kind of realized that, foreclosures were slowing down, that sort of thing. And so I felt a little weird about continuing to share that information when it didn't seem like we were getting more and more foreclosures, And so, so anyway, then I just kind of settled a little. I had a little PTSD moment and for a couple years and then COVID came and I kind of realized that I really saw in the Facebook group so many agents just struggling and not sure what to do and how to do it, you know, without being able to meet people or being afraid of meeting people and all these things. And I was like, holy crap, like this is my time. I mean, I could definitely be showing people right now how I do things because it doesn't require, you know, such closeness, I guess, you know, to attract people. And that kind of it kind of lit something in me, you know, and it was like, okay, we can work together and I can help agents honestly across the country, like not just in my marketplace. And honestly, to begin with, I was like, I don't want to help agents in my marketplace because that's, you know, essentially help like growing my competition. And then I had someone tell me like, they told me, they were like, well, Corey, the agents that you're helping in your marketplace, what if they wanted to come and work with you? And I was like, shoot, okay, here I have a brokerage, right? Like, of course I want that. And so then I started letting everyone in the group because I'm like, no, you know what? They're right. Like, I want to help everyone. And it doesn't, I mean, not everyone, but the people who want to know me and be around me, you know, I want to help those people. And so anyway, so I started I started doing that more and more because I was like, okay, you know what? It just is about helping others. And, you know, it's funny because it doesn't always feel like it feels like fun. It doesn't feel like work. It doesn't feel like, I don't know, forced, I guess. It just feels like fun when you're able to help other people. And it does something, like it makes my heart so happy. So it's just very exciting when I get to do that. So, well, what I mean, you guys have all kind of come to me at different places or, you know, in your businesses and that sort of thing. And some of you have seen me or talked with me before, and some of you haven't. So what things have you seen or what things have you heard about, like as far as in, I'm not trying to put anyone on the spot, but as far as things that I've talked about, like that you have any questions on or, you know, anything like that, I'm happy to answer any questions or, you know, kind of talk more about what I do if that's something that you're interested in. It's all up for grabs today, whatever you guys want to talk about.
Well, this is the first, I'm just going to jump in here quick. This is the first time that we've met. I missed one of your other Zoom meetings and I have not watched it.
Okay.
So this is going to prompt me to do that. So yeah, so I just came today just because you seem extremely knowledgeable in the real estate world. And I just thought, you know, I'm just going to start listening to you and I'll learn some things hopefully. So
I love that so much. I appreciate that. And I'm so happy to meet you today. I mean, it's very special to me. Like we were talking, you know, that honestly, that anyone else is like, okay, yeah, I want to spend your birthday with you. Right. So it makes my heart happy. So I really appreciate all of you guys being here. And I think that real estate can be so much fun, but sometimes we put so much like pressure on ourselves, you know, and then it becomes not a lot of fun. And, you know, I prefer to have fun because honestly, I've done all the other crap and I don't like it. And I would rather just be having fun. Not to say that I don't still go through the roller coaster and, you know, whatever, but it feels like it's part of this business, you know. I had one coach tell me, and it makes me laugh sometimes and I hate it, but he said, Corey, because like I said, it's been a roller coaster. I've had a million things go wrong, right? Like, but he told me at one point, he's like, Corey, if you haven't filed for bankruptcy, you haven't been in real estate long enough. And I was like, oh my God, that's awful. But but sometimes I guess in a way it could be true, right? I mean, oh, thank you, Carol. Thank you so much. But yeah, so it, that statement kind of got me thinking, but it's like, okay, other agents struggle too, and we all have these moments maybe where we forget who we are or forget what we're doing. And, we like, at least I do. So I assume other people do, but I kind of shrivel up a little bit and just like hide kind of, like
Yeah.
things aren't going my way and it's fine. I'll go wash the laundry today, right? I mean, like it's okay. I'm going to do something else or, that sort of thing. And it kind of gets in our head. And I want to be a person in your life who encourages you to keep going. And, not that you want to stop, but, when those times come and you're like, okay, kind of shriveling a little bit, like I want to be the person to help you see that you don't have to do that we can do things another way, and play the game a different way, but just enjoy ourselves.
Yeah, thanks for that, because I think ever since COVID, I've just kind of lost anymore. We don't go in the office anymore. When you go in, it's like a ghost town.
Yeah.
Our broker kind of just seems to, I don't know, he doesn't touch base with any of us to see how we're doing, what's going on. I mean, I just feel like we're just out there,
Flapping in the
and
wind.
so yeah, I mean, I've considered getting out of real estate because it's like, geez, I just don't know if I can keep doing this. So no, I'm really glad, because I would love your encouragement.
I love that. I love that. I'm here to help. And I feel like I'm just talking. So you guys, if you have anything to say, feel free to like chime in, because I don't want to be the only one talking. But at the same time, like if I can help, then I want to do that too. So but I think that real estate for me has felt so lonely at times, and I think that so many people feel that, like you kind of almost feel like you're on an island by yourself, and just like no one else around you understands, and even the people who should understand maybe don't understand, right? Because they're doing the same things or having similar struggles or whatever. And so I feel like it's very important to be around other people who are in the business, who are doing the same things or have felt the same things that you're feeling, because then you can get that support and kind of grow from there. So, well, I guess I want to say hi, Mark. I'm sorry I haven't said hi yet, but hi.
So Corey, I'll just jump in here. What you just said about having people support you. So during COVID, I did switch brokerages,
Okay.
and I call it a blessing in disguise. Just a blessing that fell into my lap, and I was struggling, just in every aspect that you could, I guess. And I got a phone call one day, and it happened to be on April 1st. I got a phone call from a broker, and they said, I've got some things I'd like to talk to you about. When can we get together? And of course, instantly, my thought was, oh my God, what did I do wrong? I'm in trouble, and I don't even know why.
Right.
From a broker that I've talked to a few times, but whatever. I'm like,
Right.
Sure. Okay. And so we set up a meeting, and she talked to me about coming to join her her brokerage.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just kind of blown away, because I felt like someone believed in me.
Right.
And that's what I needed in my life. And so I did switch over to Next Home Rustic Realty. And I just, ever since then, I feel like I have the support that I've always needed. And, you know, I was with EXP previously. And so we, you know, we didn't have an office to go to.
Okay.
And so with Next Home, Rustic Realty, she actually was, she has had an office and still does, but she was in the process of renovating a church
Oh, wow.
to expand her brokerage. And we're still a small brokerage compared to a couple of other, you know, big hitters in town. But, you know, she's just a go-getter and positive energy all day long. And even when she's having a bad day, you really can't tell because, you know, she, you know, had some huge struggles, you know, a few times since I've been with her. And it's just really hard to tell because she is so upbeat, such a positive person, and just, you know, so many different, you know, ideas. And it's in, you know, whoever you're around, you kind of absorb that energy to a certain degree.
Yeah.
At least that's kind of how I am. And, you know, sometimes you have to turn that off, you know,
Right.
because if you're in the wrong spot, you need to turn that off.
Exactly.
But yeah, and so I was just like, yeah. I thought, oh my gosh, she believes in me. She, you know, she wants me to be with her. And so it was, you know, I tried to negotiate, but right from the get-go, I was just like, oh yeah, I'm there.
This is for me. I'm claiming
Yeah,
it.
yeah. And so, like I said, I just felt like it was a blessing in disguise, and I just went with it. And I'm so glad that that opportunity presented itself in my life because, I mean, that's what I needed. And, you know, it's the support of the people around you that really makes a difference.
Yeah.
And, you know, if you don't feel like you're getting that support, whether it's from, you know, no matter who you're with or who you're around, even if you're in a transaction and, you know, the other agent is maybe not as helpful as you'd like them to be,
Exactly.
you just kill them with kindness and smile and, oh, please, can you please? And, you know, you just create your own energy. But
Yeah.
you know, that definitely makes a huge difference is, you know, the people that are around you, you know, giving you that support, and that helps you grow.
Yeah, that's for sure. That's definitely for sure. You know, you saying that made me think I have this tenant right now, and he is a whole piece of work. And I have like it's my my client's house. It's a listing I have, and the guy keeps insisting he has 90 days after closing, even though he hasn't paid in 3 years, and he's just like a whole piece
Oh,
of work.
right.
And he I don't even know. Like, I've known him in the past, and I just wanted nothing to ever do with him again. And I walked up to the door, and I knock on the door, and he comes out, and I was like, "Oh, crap, it's you?" And, you know, I feel like it was, I it I was very nice, and I've been very helpful, and, you know, I've tried to stick with that thing my mom always said about catching more flies with honey or whatever, and so I'm like, "Okay, you know, I'm just gonna be nice," even though, like, I just wanna tell him, like, "Dude, you haven't paid in 3 years, like, get out," you know? But, I haven't done that. I'm allowing the attorneys to do that, but
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
it's one of those things, like, it's never I don't know. It's good to be nice. It's good to do all of that, but at some points you have to protect your energy for sure.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I want to ask, you mentioned putting stuff into the penny saver. So I'm going to switch gears back to the reverse prospecting stuff.
Absolutely.
What content did you put in those penny savers? Like, can you remember what one of the ads looked like
Well,
or
it's
said?
funny because I have still used this almost the exact same wording from time to time when I'm trying to attract investors. When I was doing like the thrifty nickel, the penny saver type things, I had to I was working with foreclosures, and so I was trying to attract investors and that sort of thing. And so that, I would have a pool of people to buy my foreclosures. And so I would often do, like, my favorite one basically said, if you would like a free list of foreclosures, contact me. I mean, it was pretty simple.
Oh, yeah.
It just like brought out all types of investors, from the just getting started imagining investing to like the ones who had cash in the bank.
Yeah.
And it was incredible to me because I guess it was like the people just came, you know what I mean? Like, no matter what it was, they just came because they're like, okay, yes, I want this list of foreclosures. And, I would I would pull it from the MLS. I had a special search saved on my MLS. And so I could just hit that button and basically pull up all the foreclosures. Right now, if I post that, there's like maybe 2 foreclosures at a time or something like that. So it's not a lot.
Yeah.
But at this point, I will pull up pre-foreclosures, I will talk to them about off-market properties that I've found by, advertising my buyers, that sort of thing. Like, there's just kind of a whole bunch of different things that I can use to attract people, but it really, it depends on who it is that you're trying to talk to, right? Or who you want to bring into your world. So for me, my favorites are first-time home buyers, and I like helping investors, but first-time home buyers are the ones that like light me up because of their excitement and all the things, they want, and like just their vision, and so for that, I mean, it kind of depends, right? Like sometimes that you get people by advertising a property, right? And then you'll get people, which is, I guess, regular prospecting. And then, like I will add like different things, I will do like, here are costs you should know about. Here are, the minimum credit scores you should know about, or the minimum down payments, or, whatever thing I feel like my people need to hear about, or that maybe they're confused about. Or like, if I'm in like a first-time homebuyer group and I see like, sometimes I just will scroll and, I'm scrolling and I'm seeing all of their questions. And like, if there's a topic that just seems to be like, every couple posts, someone talking about down payment or credit, or why is the sky blue? I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
they're kind of going through and asking like the same question, I'll take that back and go like, okay, how can I solve this problem? And it's not about recreating the wheel. So oftentimes, I already have whatever they need. And so I'll just start talking about that thing, whatever, let's say it's down payment, and everyone, oh, I've heard you have to save 20% or whatever. And when you can say, well, you could put 20% down, but here are the minimum requirements, or you could get down payment assistance. It's like, you kind of open up their eyes, and they don't realize all the things that are available to them. And they hear so many conflicting stories about, oh, I put 20% down, or, oh, I put 3.5% down, or I put nothing down. And so they're like confused and just need a place to go, a place to like get that information and know that it's accurate. And
So do you post right in there in that chat, that group or wherever? Do you just post right in that thread?
It depends. It depends
Okay.
on the group that it is. If I see, like, if I'm in a first-time homebuyers group and there's, 100 comments and everyone is saying, oh, talk to me, I'm a realtor, like, I'm out,
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm
I
not
see
trying
that
to
so much, and I'm
yeah,
just like, no, I don't want to be in that. I
exactly.
don't want to be in that
And
that mess.
And I may on occasion like DM them and say, you know, I saw your question and here's how I would approach this, or here's, you know, what I know, or, you know, whatever. Like I may go that route, kind of depending on honestly how I feel about that person and their questions, and maybe even the way other people are responding to them. Like if they're getting bashed, I'm definitely not in that, you know,
Yeah.
in for that. So I'll go into their DMs and just message them and tell them like, okay, look, here's X, Y, and Z. This is what you need to know. And so it really depends on the situation as to how I handle it. But most of the time I will take that information. Like I use bigger Facebook groups kind of sometimes to get as market research almost, right? Like if you see someone having the same problem over and over and over again, I know now that I can talk about that topic in a more local aspect, you know, and maybe help someone. So I will then go into like my Facebook groups. I have different ones that are buy sell trade groups. I have different ones, like I have one that's just for first time home buyers. So I'll go into those groups and start talking about different things. And then I get people asking me questions and coming to me and saying like, okay, I need to know more about that. In other places, like I may specifically just offer like a list of expenses that you should know about, you know, like it kind of just depends, like kind of who I'm trying to attract, like honestly what I feel like talking about, because sometimes you get bored talking about the same things like and so you're like, I want to switch it up. And so when you do that, it makes it fresh. You know what I mean? Like when I was doing my foreclosure class, like I was getting bored with it. And so not to say that anyone else was, but I was. And so I was just like, I don't want to do this anymore. And I had a coach who was like, but it's working, you know, you're helping people. And I'm like going, yeah, but it's not fun anymore. I want to do something else. And so it just kind of depends, you know, who you're looking for and like what kind of I would say the caliber of person that you're looking for kind of depends upon the information you put out, right? Like for me, because I like helping first-time home buyers and I'm not scared of the ones who tell me I have no credit and no down payment, like I can help them. And a lot of times I find that those are the people who are kind of thrown away or pushed to the side because someone else has already said like, oh, you're never going to buy, or maybe not that extreme, but you know, they've just been discarded by someone else. And I don't mind helping those people because I know that down the road they'll be able to buy. And if not, maybe I've helped them see that they could, you know, maybe they don't get their stuff together, but that's not on me, you know, that's on them. And so I'm still going to put them in my Facebook group and continue to talk to them so that they can continue to learn, and when they decide the time is right, maybe they get their act together.
So do you have any kind of a social media calendar that you follow? Or do you just kind of wing it by, all right, I'm going to look at this group and see what questions are asked this week, and so that's going to be, you know, the topic for the week for me?
I guess for me, I'm probably more of a wing it kind of girl. I have had calendars, like essentially when I first got started, I had like every day of the week, I had a different thing that I would talk about. And, you know, like, I don't know, I can't even remember now, but basically every day was like, you know, I would have some sort of a prompt that I would do or something, you know, to try and get communication or whatever. And then eventually I was like, you know, this doesn't feel like me. And so then it's kind of like as things come up, that's what I talk about. So it just kind of, I guess, kind of just depends on how I'm feeling. But then I
Sure.
have more fun that way because,
Yeah.
it's something that I'm in the mood for, I guess,
Well, and I think some days if you feel more passionate about one topic, then you're really going to, give it your all versus,
Exactly.
oh, this is on my calendar today. Oh, I
Ex-
guess I'll talk about it.
Exactly. Exactly. What were you going to
Yeah.
say, Tammy?
Excuse me, I just wanted to say I gotta go. I have an eye appointment.
Okay. Okay. Well,
So have an amazing day. Happy birthday to you.
thank you
And
so much.
Amy B, it was nice to meet you. And
Hey, nice to meet you,
I'll
Tammy.
see you at the next one.
Absolutely.
Sounds good.
On Wednesday morning, just so you guys know, I'm doing the real estate support group. Honestly, it's not a support group like in that sense, but it's we're going to get together and just kind of hang out and chat, and normally I try to bring some different things, to talk about. So,
And what
So
time
what
is that?
it's at the same time. It's
Oh,
7.
at 9 o'clock. Okay. Wednesday at 9
Yep.
9 Mountain Time
Central.
or
Central time.
Central?
Yeah,
9
7
Central Time,
7 Pacific.
7 Pacific. So
10.
that's
All right,
8.
ladies. Well, have an
8 a.m.
amazing day.
Thank
Bye,
you.
Tammy.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Happy birthday.
Thank you so much.
So I'm not sure if I'll be able to make that meeting on a regular basis if you do that, because Wednesday at 8:30 Mountain Time, every Wednesday is our MLS meeting.
Okay, okay.
So this week I'm the chair for Jump Into Jewels, which is an annual fundraiser for the local Habitat for Humanity. And so we're transporting our goods on Wednesday to our venue to get ready to set up for the Friday night, Saturday. We do a Friday night happy hour and a Saturday champagne brunch. So you buy tickets and then you come in and you buy jewelry that's been donated. We have high end and just regular costume jewelry and purses and scarves. And so you just have an adult beverage and shop for jewelry and have a good time.
Oh my
So
gosh, that sounds so cool.
yeah. So I've posted a couple of videos, and Habitat has done a couple of runway videos, which is really a hoot. It was really fun. So I was actually thinking about taking those videos that they've done, just cell phone videos,
Uh-huh.
and combining them with iMovie on my phone,
Uh-huh.
and then just posting them into my YouTube page, and then posting that link onto my Facebook page. And I don't know if I can do it on Instagram or not, but anyway, just to help, push, promotion and just have it for historic content as well.
Right? Yes, absolutely. I love it. Well,
Yeah.
I think that that's such a cool idea. And honestly, I'm like thinking, is that something we could do in our association?
Oh yeah. Well, it's been going on. This has been like a 15 years plus.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. And so this year is my first year as chair. So I'm nervous and scared, and oh, here I am. I'm in the picture.
Oh.
Oh well. Anyway, so yeah, it was I was asked earlier this year, or actually last November, December, if I wanted to take over that role. And at first I was like, why me? Why me? Who else turned it down? But there again, I didn't have confidence in myself.
Right.
And so I'm honored and excited and scared and thrilled, and just all of the emotions, and just hoping everything gets pulled off without any major issues. But again, it's to support a good cause, and then just be in the community and helping out. And I've been a longtime supporter of Habitat for Humanity, so it just felt like a good fit.
I love that. I love
And
that.
yeah, it'll be fun. So like my page and my profile, because you'll be seeing a lot more of me over the next several days. And I'm going to try and remind myself to do videos and go live a few times here and there, just to get the word out.
I think that's awesome. And as you share those things, you know, maybe even share them to your story and, you know, do
Oh, yep.
reels.
Yep. I've been doing that.
Okay,
Mhm.
good, good. I
Yeah.
was gonna say, because I think that they, you know, people are seeing so much video lately and they're just wanting and consuming more and more and more video. So all the video you can do is great.
Yeah. And that's been a goal of mine for quite some time. And I I was having a conversation with somebody, recently,
Mhm.
and I I was telling them how to do it when I really wasn't doing it myself, except randomly.
Right.
And I said, it's habit. It's
Yeah.
just a habit you have to get into. You have to just remind yourself, okay, well, I haven't done a live video or I haven't done a video for a couple of days, so I better do one today. And I walked out of the office, and here it was, this spring snowstorm that just blew in with the wind, literally. It wasn't there, and then it was there. And so here I am, just getting drenched with this wet snow outside my vehicle, and I just did a quick little live video and said, hey folks, if you've been stuck at your desk all day, here's what's going on outside.
That's great. I love it. Well, you know, before we get off, I think that, you know, I want to just tell you personally that I'm very proud of you, and I want you to know that, you know, this is hard. You know, what you've been through, what I've been through, you know, and continuing to go on. And I just want you to know that I can see, like, just, you know, what you were talking about when you're talking about changing offices and all of that. Like, I can see that it seems like you've gotten some of your excitement back and some of your, I wouldn't say passion, but maybe passion. And definitely I can feel that there's confidence there in the way you were talking and everything. And so I just want you to know that you always have a supporter in me.
Thank you, Corey. I appreciate that. And you're making me cry.
I'm so sorry.
But it's no, but it's a good cry. It's a good cry. But yeah, I do feel that. And I still have days,
Yes.
but we all. And
Right.
we all have our stories.
Well,
And
I would almost encourage you to be the person, you know, that you want to have. You know what I mean?
yep.
And if you feel like maybe other women are going through something similar, you know, talking about your story, not to make people feel bad for you, right? Like, that's not the point, obviously.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that you are, but I'm saying, you know, like, that's how I thought at first. Like, oh my gosh, everyone's going to think I just want sympathy or something. But
Yeah.
it's more for the people who need to know that there's a way out, or that there's a light at the end of the tunnel and it's not just a train, right? Like, it
Yeah.
that there's more out there.
Oh boy, I don't think I've heard that before. A light at the end of the tunnel, and it's not a train.
One of
That's
my
a good one.
one of my girlfriends, as I was going and going and I thought things were going good, and I told her, I was like, I finally see the light at the end of the tunnel. She's like, Corey,
Yeah.
sometimes it's a train. And I was like, damn it, don't tell me that. I don't need to hear that.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Yeah. I'm tired of looking at the train.
Ex-
I'm getting off the tracks.
Exactly. Exactly. So I want you to know, though, that I'm proud of you. And
Thank
honestly,
you.
like, I feel like we who have been through these things, we need to stick together, because it's hard enough to go through what we've gone through, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And so many people don't understand that thing, what that looks like, the terror that it brings into your world, you know, all of those things. And so I get it. And so,
Yeah.
you know, I get, like, how that affects real estate and how it affects, like, what what you feel you can put into it, really. And so, you know, I mean, that's why I do things the way I do, because I couldn't do it the other way, you know, the way everyone else was doing it.
Yeah. 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 So, yeah, you know, every time I talk about it, and is it just you and me now?
Yes, it is. And I'm,
Okay,
hold
okay.
on.